How do you do that? How do you separate the two without it becoming like a personal thing that you look at from your brother, right? And say, well, I understand your issues, but my issues are here, and I understand your issues, but the business needs this. Like, how do you?
And that becomes the issue too. It's really tough because we try to. I try to like separate it in the sense that I want to focus on growing the business. And the problem that arises is that because it was given to us pretty much, it seems like we can do no wrong. And we don't take that next step. And I really want to take that next step and make it like, a barbershop. Whether I do it here or another barbershop, like this barbershop I love because it's like it's the OG. I would love to open up another barbershop where we have nothing to do with it there and I want to just manage it. Because I would manage it differently. Like, you know what I mean? It'd be very professional. Right now it's not professional, but I have a hard time transitioning to a professional barbershop because I have such strong, deep-rooted relationships with so many of my customers that it's hard for me to be so strict and oh, okay, we got to do this and that and sit down and put a care and let me do this and like be so like robotic with the cuts. And I feel like I know people. Like I feel like we're friends, and that's hard too, right? And that's what I mean. It kind of like blends in too much sometimes. I know I'm rambling, but
No, no, you're not rambling. No, it's good information because it's hard. Like financially that's the right move to do. Businesses always say expand and franchises and grow. And I remember talking to a Chris Hambone, another barber downtown. He is a town barber on
oh yeah, yes,
Dundas
yes.
and
I've heard of the place. Yeah,
nice guy, super nice guy. And his thing was he has a shop. It's great, cool. And he's opening a second one. And he was like, I want to make it like a coffee, but also a barber shop. And his dad is going to help run it because I think his dad retired. But he talked about the struggles of that, of like just your first business. It's like that joke of like your first million is the hardest, but then
Yeah.
after that it's easy once you know how to do it. It's hard. Like, do you find yourself holding back from jumping into it? Or
Yes, very much so. And it's because I don't want to bleed into the next one. If I like my I have aspirations of opening up a very like chic, modern, like spa for men. I would love it. You know what I mean? And I don't want to work there. I want to work here because I like this place. I like the atmosphere. But I want to run the other place. I want to like train people. I want to be the manager of that place. Or like mold it into where I don't even, because I know if I go there, I'll become too personal with people. I'd rather it be its own entity. You know what I mean? But I want to get it off the ground. Like that's my ultimate goal in barbering, right? And not even work there because I enjoy this like mom and pop kind of barbershop feel that I have. I like it. I really enjoy it. I'm not going to say I don't like it. I'm not going to say that I want to do that because I don't like this because I'd be lying. I like both, but I would hate to work at that place. You know what I mean? But I'd like to see it thrive as like a men's grooming place. You know, there's like nails done, eyebrows done, like have the whole shebang there and have like barbers that do just haircuts all day. It's tough because everybody wants fades now. It's like such a different like shift in styles. Like everybody wants the same cut. And I keep on stressing to like the barbers that come in that want jobs, like that's all they know how to do is fade. They can't cut hair. They could like fade hair. When it comes to cutting the top, it's like they're lost.
really?
Yeah, yeah, it's tough. It's tough for them. It is. It's really tough.
What is the style right now? I know there's some jokes of guys with blowouts in the top and the
Well,
fade,
it's
or
strange. Lately, a lot of mullets, man. I've been doing mullets. Mullets are coming
as a
back.
younger Gen Z guy, yeah, definitely all
like
the
I see a lot of mullets.
people like mullets. Yeah,
Yeah,
kids.
yeah. They're not even kids. And what I don't get now is the way the kids, like the young teenagers, the way they comb their hair. I have no idea. It's just they want it short, shaved, and then they want it all messy in front of their face. I don't get it. And it's all like from grade 7 to like 9, 10. That's how they want their hair. It's disgusting. It's ugly. I tell them.
Yeah.
I have asked a couple kids. I said, do girls tell you your hair looks good, or is it your friends? Like, or where are you getting this information that this looks good? Because it doesn't look good.
What do they say?
They have no answer. They laugh, ha 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 ha. Yeah, the kids are a little tuned out now.
Sure. I mean, I always thought of doing myself for this hairstyle. Like I call it the British hairstyle for whatever reason. But it's the fade on the side all the way back up. It's almost layered and pushed forward, and then it's cut like clean, like a line. I feel like a lot of the UK, like the English soccer team, have it where it's like layered and it's pushed forward. I'm doing a probably.
I know what you're talking about. I think I know what you're. That's different.
But it's different, okay?
No, these guys.
I think that looks clean, personally.
That's nice. That's okay. Yeah, it's like I don't like the straight lines.
Sure.
I get it that it's style and it's fashion. I understand that's cool. Me personally, I feel like it looks like Lloyd Christmas from Dumb and Dumber. But hey, you know what I mean? I don't judge. If somebody comes and says put a straight line, I'm doing a straight line. No problem. But the way the kids are wearing it, they even want perms now. Yeah, I've had like
a perm.
I've had 3 or 4 phone calls.
And do you do perms?
Do you do perms? No, I don't do perms. I could do perms.
You could technically do perms.
I could technically do it. I haven't done it in so long. So, perms, roller sets, all this stuff, it's all dexterity built, right? Like you build up your dexterity, you learn how to do it, you become faster at it, and it's second nature. But I haven't done it for so long that if I had to do a perm on somebody, it would probably take me an hour just to set the rollers in their hair.
But with a fade or just a perm?
They just want the top permed in front of their face. They want to look like a sheepdog.
Oh my God!
I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you. I've never seen this many kids come in with this kind of hair, and they're all the same. They all want the same cut. And then they get older, and then they get wiser, right? Then then they're like, I don't like this anymore, and then they understand that it looks stupid.
So this is up to 12th grade, and then what's college?
I would say it's about 11, 10. Okay. No, most of those like the older kids now, like the older people, I should call them kids, 20s. I'm 40, so when I say kids, I mean anybody 20 to 30 is a kid to me now.
Sure.
But they a lot of mullets. Which is cool. I like that. That's cool. But it's not the mullets like the 80s mullet. It's a clean mullet. Yeah. They just wanted it short on the sides, like a little texture on top.
Long
and then
on the back.
But not really long. Just longer, fuller.
To be different.
Fuller, fuller. Which is cool. Like I like that style. That looks nice. Like I enjoy doing that kind of stuff. But I would say 90% of the people, they all want fades now.
So just a clean fade all the way up, and then the
0, 1, and then they push to the side, which is
like
cool.
my hair, basically.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much.
Fair enough.
You're douchey. No,
douchey, 100%.
No,
I mean, I've been through so many hairstyles, and I'm grateful my hair grows long, or grows fast,
You got nice hair, man. You got
I appreciate
hair.
that.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. That's my mom and my dad. Although I have a lot of whites coming in.
That's okay. Wait till you have kids. You're going to get more.
That's what my mom says. But I feel like I've had so many hairstyles because I just enjoy trying them on and seeing what it's like. But I'm curious always to see what the generational haircuts are. Like back in the day, you said, was it the 80s or 70s was a mullet?
The 80s were mullets.
80s were mullets, okay. Yeah. I know 90s was like long rock hair, or 70s was hippie hair. Like, it's interesting to see the trends go. What is the worst trend in your opinion? The worst
thing we've ever went through, and I never cut hairs like that. My brother did a lot of them, was the blowout.
Oh yeah,
it was a terrible haircut.
You hated it.
Yeah. I never did them.
Sure.
People came in, my brother at Michael Power at the time, he was known as the barber that does blowouts. So,
he went to Michael Power High School?
No, but at Michael Power, when we were working at Edenbridge there, he was known as the guy who does blowouts.
Hilarious.
So we had everybody from the schools coming and get these blowouts from my brother, and they would line up and wait outside these kids for like all day.
When was this? What year? Or years?
2000. I'm going to say it was early 2000s. Yeah, and you know what? It was a terrible haircut. I don't know, like it's the Pauly D blowout. Yeah, That's it. It's just like shaved. Yeah. But like Pauly D rocks it well. I get it.
But
like,
that's
him. You know what I mean? It looks good. I like it. Like when I see him do his hair, I'm like, dude, this guy spends an hour on it. It's perfect, his hair. Yeah. Like I love it. No problem. But everybody wanted it. Everybody wanted to look like Pauly D at that time. And I hated the haircut. I never did it.
Wow.
I never would do it. I would tell people, wait for my brother.
That's crazy.
You want to blow it? Yeah? Okay. He'll do it.
Yeah. Oh my God.
But that was pretty bad. And I mean, one of the worst times, according to my dad, was the 60s and 70s because everybody grew their hair long, and it was terrible for barbers.
Yeah, financially, right?
Oh my God, it was very terrible. They hated the Beatles. The barbers hated the Beatles because they all grew their hair long, and then everybody wanted to look like the Beatles, the Rolling Stones. They all had long hair, and when I remember being a little kid going to my dad's first barbershop, he would have haircut, and then underneath it with long hair. And it was like, $3 or $4 more to cut somebody with long hair because he knew that he wouldn't see them all the time.
That's fair.
Yeah, it was fair. I mean, we don't do that anymore.
Yeah.
But I mean, it was at the time I used to say, short hair, long hair. I was like,
What's
what's that mean?
Yeah.
And now looking back, I understand, but it was a terrible time for barbers. A lot of barbers quit during that time. And strangely enough, a lot of them became custodians.
Really?
Yeah, it's like they had some in somewhere. A lot of them came. My dad almost became a custodian.
What? What was the end?
Well, because it's job security, it's stability, you have benefits, right? Being a barber, I don't have benefits. Like I'm grateful that I married my wife who's a teacher, and
Spousal benefits,
it helps me a little bit in that sense, right? In that regard. But my dad at that time, my mother was probably not working because she had kids. Benefits weren't really a thing at that time. So he was gonna go become a custodian at Humber College.
Oh, wow. I went there.
Yeah, and he went there, and the lady that was hiring didn't hire him, not because he wasn't qualified, because you've met my dad, and I respect him, and I talk about him a
Love
lot.
that man.
But she said, "You're not going to last here." She knew that he wouldn't not that he wouldn't like it, but he wouldn't be able to work under people,
Yeah.
right? And she said, "You're overqualified."
Yeah.
Which is, a nice thing to say,
Yeah.
because it's true. He wouldn't have liked it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Knowing not the little, but enough that I know about your dad, yeah, definitely wouldn't work.
Yeah.
He'd either he'd be the head of something.
That's right. Yeah. He would, but he would do a great job, right?
Yeah, of course.
But he wouldn't be able to be under somebody seniority wise.
Yeah.
It would bother him. But it probably wouldn't have bothered him. But I mean, it would bother other people.
Yeah, of course. I mean, that's a good trait to have, is that he kind of clearly knows what he's good at and what people see in him that he's good at. You mentioned that about the hard times. I'm sure you've had hard times as a business owner with haircuts. I think of COVID and stuff, and moving away. How did you get through that? What was there a guiding light, a moment, a memory, something that got you through it?
It was tough for everybody. That was something that nobody saw coming. It was terrible. It was a terrible time in our history that we'll remember forever. But what got me through was my children and my family, man. I spent a lot of time with my kids that I don't think I'd ever spend with them. So when I look back at those 2 years during COVID, I don't look back at them and resent anything and hate it. Or was it not the ideal situation? Yeah, no, it wasn't ideal. Was it the best situation? No, but being home with my kids for that long period of time, I really connected with them. And my family dynamic, my wife being a teacher, her having to teach online, and me being home actually worked wonders for us. It was a stress-free environment. I'm there watching the kids. She's working. It was like the perfect storm. You know what I mean? Like, she didn't have to worry about the kids, because I would see other kids online where their parents were working, and it was terrible for them. The kids could do whatever they want, man. They would shut off their camera. They'd play video games. You could tell what was going on. Yeah, and I was there, on my kids' ass all the time. Like, hey, pay attention. Turn your microphone on. You know what I mean? So they didn't have a free ride. But the things we did during those months, the memories I made with them will last forever. Every Friday, I took them out somewhere to eat. Not that we went to a restaurant. Everything was closed. But we'd order food. I'd order Five Guys. Today we're having pizza. And they looked forward to Friday. And I would cook them lunch every day. And what do you guys want for lunch? You know what I mean? And I connected with them. I bonded with them. You know what I mean? And I guess now they can't tell. But I'm sure when they get older, they'll look back and say, man, I remember those 2 years with my dad and how much he did for me. Like, when they have kids, I'm sure they'll look back on it. Like, we did things outside that I never thought I would be able to do with them. Like, we built snow tunnels in the snow and built forts. You know what I mean? At lunch, and then just to see their face, they'd get back from lunch and go back online, and they'd say, "Miss, you know what I just did? I just built a fort with my dad, and we built tunnels." And I'm like, "Look at that, eh?" And I even got to know the teachers really well. Like, it's funny. All the teachers brought me presents at the end of the year.